Click record. Happy days. Okay, so building a bulletproof routine. Now, what is a problem? So I've spoken to some of you guys actually on this call and others as well. And a lot of people are having issues with managing their routine. Now, when we can't manage our routine, it makes things a lot more difficult, doesn't it? And if things are more difficult, it means we can't be consistent. And as you guys know, if you can't be consistent, it's going to make it a lot harder for you to reach your goals, isn't it? Okay, so the idea of this is to try and show you how to create a better routine that can give you these benefits. Okay, I want you to feel more in control of your day. The more in control you are, the lower your stress is going to be, isn't it? That means your eating is probably going to be better as well if your stress is lower. All right, you're going to have more focus on what's actually important during the day. You're not going to feel as overwhelmed. You should be more productive at work, which is also helpful. Okay, and we got a better chance of long-term changes, because let's think of routines and habits as, whilst they're different, they do complement each other, don't they? Okay, the more routine we can be, the better chance we have of forming habits over time. And at the end of the day, I want you to go to sleep every night feeling a sense of accomplishment, that, you know what, I've been in control of this day. I've got everything done that I wanted to. And by everything, I'm not just talking about health and fitness. Yes, that's obviously a big part, but other stuff, whatever you wanted to get done on that day, social stuff, work stuff. I want you to end each day knowing that you've got it done because you had a good routine. Okay, that's going to make you more positive. That's going to make you more motivated. And again, that's going to make you more consistent over time. All right. So these are the top 3 issues that I have, or that I will address, and that I've seen from not just you guys, but lots of people. Okay. Morning routine, super, super important. All right. We're going to go into that. We're going to look at some work hacks to hopefully stop work taking over everything else. I know sometimes that's hard and it's going to depend on your work. I haven't got the magic answer to managing everything at work, okay? But I'm just going to give you some tips I hope you can go away and implement. And we're going to talk about bedtime, or more importantly, pre-bed routine as well, okay? So everything I'm going to tell you is stuff that you should be able to go away and try and implement yourself. It's not theory. I'm not going to go on and badger about the meanings of routine or anything like that. This should all be stuff that you guys can take away and implement, which is the idea of all these seminars, okay? So how to dominate your mornings. Now, I personally feel the morning is the most important part of the day. It's the start of the day. We want to start the day on the right foot, and that's going to give us a better chance of having a great day overall. Okay, so you need to figure out, what do you actually want to achieve in the mornings? Okay, now my morning routine is obviously very different to yours because I start work at 6 a.m. So I don't have loads of time to do loads before, but I get my other stuff done later on in the day or in the morning. So I'm not a typical person, I guess, with you guys most likely would start work at similar times. So you should have enough time before to get a few things done. So you've got to decide what you want to achieve. Examples: exercise, breakfast, shower, could be food prep, journaling, meditation, whatever you guys want, you have to decide, okay? Number 2, this is super important. So if we'll use exercise as a classic example. If you find that at the end of every day you get caught up in meetings and you don't have time to train, that's got to be something that has to be moved to the morning, doesn't it? Because less likely you're going to have a meeting at 6:30 a.m. than you would at 6:30 p.m. Okay. So any actions that you think, you know what, either I keep getting stuck at work or I get home and I just have no energy to do, that stuff needs to be moved to the morning. Okay. Once you've done 1 and 2, you then reverse engineer backwards from your start time. Don't worry, I'm going to show you an example of all this. Okay. So let's say you start work at 8:30, you're going to think, right, how many minutes or how many hours do I need to get all of this done? Okay. Let's say it's 2 hours, right? I then got to decide on my wake up time, which is going to be 6:30. Okay. We'll come into a bit more about weekends and waking up at the same time. Ideally, and when we do an actual sleep seminar, I'll go more into this. I may get a guest as well, but I'll keep you posted on that. Ideally, we want to be waking up the same time every day because it puts our body in a better rhythm and it becomes a lot easier, okay, to wake up at certain days. Now, you probably do anyway. I like to think you do. And I think we could all look back, let's say 10 years, maybe we were at university, or maybe we were obviously younger than we were. And getting up probably as early as we do now probably didn't happen. And if someone said to me then, will I get up at 5 a.m. every morning? I'd be like, what are you talking about? But the more you do it, the easier it is, okay? So that's why number 4 is super important. So I'm going to stop share for a second. Well, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to share something else here. But whilst I stop it, you guys put in the chat that everything's okay so far. And what was your biggest takeaway just from that slide there? Or just from the morning stuff? I'm just going to stay on this screen for 2 seconds so I can see the chat. And then I've written an example out, which is going into a lot of detail, but hopefully you like it. Oh, someone else here. Decide on the wake up time. Yeah, like that. Hold on. Someone else who's just joining, 2 seconds. I can't wake up on the weekend as early as I do during the week. Yeah, we'll come on to that. Don't worry. I've got some tips on that. I'm not saying I expect everyone to wake up at 5 a.m. on the weekends. Okay. But it's just, especially in the week, when we come onto that slide, then you'll see what I'm saying. Okay. So I'm going to share an example routine planner. Now, this isn't anyone in particular, and I've made this very specific. You don't have to go into the exact like 10-minute details that I have. It's just an example. I'm actually going to send you this and put it on the group after. I'll probably do it tomorrow, actually, so you can use it yourself. But hope you can all see the example. And I'm just going to focus on the morning. This goes from like 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. But let's take what we just spoke about in the mornings, okay? So this would be an example. So I'm going to wake up. Let's imagine this is me again, okay? I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to drink 500 milliliters of water, okay? Bit tight in the morning, so I'm going to do 10 minutes, bit of mobility or stretching. 6:20, I'm going to get my workout or my walk done, depending on the day, okay? That's going to go on to about 7 o'clock. So that's about a 40-minute workout. That's what most of your workouts should take, okay? Again, this is just an example. It may take a little bit more, it may take a little bit less. At 7 a.m., I'm going to shower, get dressed. 1:15, I'm going to cook and eat breakfast. I'm going to prep any food I need for the day. This is especially if you're leaving the house. I know obviously some of you work from home. This may be journaling, goal setting. We'll do a separate seminar on this because I actually think it's quite important. Get some sunlight, okay? That's really ideal, depending where you live in the world, okay? That's going to help you. Well, you should be woke up by this time anyway, but a bit of sunlight in the morning is perfect, especially if you're working from home. Any important work tasks that you want to get before work, have a coffee, okay? Leave for work if you're not working from home. And here's where I will start work, okay? So as you can see, again, I've made this very precise. It doesn't have to be this precise, but I'm just giving you examples that I need to start work at 8:30, okay? I want to work out, I want to stretch, I want to eat breakfast, I want to shower, I want to do a bit of journaling. So I need 2.5 hours to do that, okay? Again, it's just an example. You may not have as much stuff for this, you may have more. But I don't think that looks that ridiculous. I'll stop share, maybe see your faces. But I don't think that seems such a crazy routine. Again, you don't have to stick to that minute, but that's 2.5 hours there. I don't think that's really any far-fetched and probably similar to what some of you maybe do already. But it's just having it kind of written down, especially if you're struggling, so you can kind of see, right, this is what I should be doing. And again, it's not like 2 months later you're going to be reading an Excel sheet, okay? Because the more you get into the habit, it's just going to work like clockwork, okay? But it's just figuring out, right, what do I actually need to get done? And then how long do I need for each task? And it's trial and error, just like we do everything else, okay? Does that make sense on that one? Okay, we'll come back to that later, the example. But again, we're focusing on the routine right now. Sorry, the morning routine. So we'll go back to the, sorry if you can hear works on behind me. Bad timing. Okay, so we'll come back to the slides now, okay? Right, morning actions. Number 1. I can't see your faces, but I'm sure someone's laughing at this one. Please don't snooze your alarm, okay? I already feel that once you do that, you've already lost, okay? Don't forget that when you're snoozing your alarm, you've now broken your sleep because it's already woken you up. Those extra 10 minutes, 20 minutes are not going to be good sleep. And I'm sure we've all had that experience when we've done that and woken up 20 minutes later feeling even worse. Okay. So try not to snooze your alarm. This is a great tip, especially if there's someone else in the bed with you. Okay. You're going to jump out of the bed a lot quicker. In our first apartment here in Dubai, there was no plug on my side. This is a true story. So I had to put my phone at the end of the room. And trust me, I jumped out of the bed very, very quick to turn the alarm off at 5 a.m. or whatever it was. Okay. So this is a good one. Now, number 3, super important, massive hack here. Okay. You guys, well, wherever you have iPhone, Samsung, can easily set do not disturb. Okay. So my do not disturb is from 8:30 at night to 7 a.m. Okay. So I wake up at 5. Do what I need to do, go to work by 6. Okay. So none of my socials, only WhatsApp, just in case of an emergency or something, but none of my Instagram, Facebook, anything like that comes on till 7 a.m. And I'm in the middle of clients then, so I don't see it. Okay. So that's really important because you can get so easily distracted by that stuff. Okay. The same here, emails, socials, this stuff is just going to distract you. So you're going to have your whole routine planner set out and you're going to wake up at 6 a.m. and you're going to be ready to go. You've got 2 hours and you spend a bit of time with socials and before you know it's 6:30 and you haven't done your stretching, you haven't had your water, you're already behind in your workout. Okay. So try as hard as you can. You can definitely do socials because we can all do social, guys. Okay. Emails, I don't know your work situation, but try as hard as you can not to do that until you've done everything else in the morning. Okay. Even a little one here, have your exercise bag ready. This is especially important if you're going out to the gym. If you're training at home, I'm still get your clothes out ready, but it won't be as important. Okay. Again, if you have kids, who's on this call? I don't think anyone does. But yeah, it's going to be a bit harder with kids. So who's ever watching this back on the replay, future, okay, you're going to have to work your times obviously around the kids, but I'm sure you still have some kind of routine, especially if they're a bit older. So your times may be very different to some people, okay, but it doesn't mean we can't have the very best intentions at least, okay. So important actions, again, if you want to screenshot this or take a photo, you can, but again, it's going to be posted on the group, all right. Especially number 1. Especially number 1. So work taken over. Now, what I find about obviously work taken over is that if you've done the important tasks that we spoke about in the morning, you now already have less on your plate, don't you? Think about it. If you woke up late, and I'm sure we've all done it, and you're rushed, and let's say you didn't prepare your food, you didn't have time to exercise, suddenly now that's in your mind that, oh, I've got to go and do this later, or I've got to go and find lunch now, or oh my God, I've got to work out when I get home, and I've got a super busy day, okay? So if you've done all these things in the morning, there should be less chance of, even if work does go later than planned, it won't matter as much, will it? Because you've got everything you need, okay? Sudden work occurrences are out of your control, meetings, emergencies. We can't always control that, all right? But you can only focus on what you can control, which is the stuff we've already spoken about. Okay, you can control your wake up time. You can control your working out in the morning. You can control making breakfast. Okay, these are all things you can control. So that's what you should focus on. You can't always control everything at work. So I know it's stressful and I know it's annoying. Okay, but if you can't control that, you shouldn't focus too much on that. So if you've done everything in the morning, you should already go to work with less stress, which I'm sure you're going to agree with me is going to be beneficial. Okay, just a few work hacks to try. Again, hopefully some of these will work, maybe they won't, but depends how detailed you want to get and depending on, obviously on your work. I know some of you will have kind of meeting times, won't you, in your diary? So they'll kind of be set. So look at those free times that you have, if you have any free time, and decide how you're going to use it. It may be catch up work, but this may be, you know what, I'm sitting down for a 3-hour meeting. I've got 15 minutes before the next one. I'm definitely going to get outside and go for a quick walk because I need some sunlight. I need some fresh air. I need to refocus. Okay. So try and have a look in your diary. Okay. You don't always have to write it down, but just have a quick look before each day. In those 5-10 minutes before you start work, how's my day looking? Okay. Just be a bit more prepared, even as mentally in your mind. Okay. Meal times, like we're at school and we know our lunch and snack, but sometimes you can easily forget. So again, I've got a break at 12:30 today. I've then got nothing till 4 p.m. then I've got to eat my lunch at 12:30. Okay. Again, it doesn't have to be in the diary. It's just looking each morning. Right, I'm going to have to eat my lunch there. I might have to eat my lunch early today because I've got a 3-hour meeting. Okay. Number 4, if you can, I'm working from home. I know a lot of people eating from their desk. I know I've been guilty of it in the past as well. But if you try to separate the two, if you can even get outside and get some sunlight, again, that's super important. And especially the ideal work environment. This is away from routine, but just something really useful, I think, anyway. Comfortable chair, try not to have clutter, stand up at times. Like I'm standing up right now. The energy is a lot better when you're standing up, okay? So try these things. Again, I know not everyone has an office. That's a bit hard, okay? But once you've got your routine in place and you're in work, these are just little hacks to try to maybe not make work as stressful. Try to keep that focus, try to keep that mental energy, especially if you are someone who trains after work. The last thing you want is to be absolutely knackered all day during work, get to 6 p.m. and then think there's no way in hell I'm training now because I'm fried, okay? So that's just super important for you evening workout people, okay? A few more here. Water, we spoke about that many times. You would have seen the hydration stuff in the group. Keep 2 bottles on your desk, okay? And know that I've got to drink these by the end of the day. Even your phone, my phone is here right now. Okay, I can reach it, but it's face down. I'm not looking at it. It's not distracting me, okay? A lot of people like timers. So let's say you're not in meetings. You're right, I've got to get work done. I'm just going to set 50 minutes. You can just set a time on a computer, on your phone. But again, if your phone's out of harm's reach, let's just do it on the computer. And I'm going to work as hard as I can for 50 minutes. Stop. Walk around the house for 5 minutes. Walk outside, okay? Especially if your focus is fading. I'm sure some of you have done this before. If you're feeling like, you know when you get brain fog and you just can't concentrate, just go for a 5-10 minute walk around the block. You'll feel so much better, okay? Especially mid-afternoon. That's actually a lot better than always going for a coffee, okay? We don't want to have too much caffeine even later in the afternoon because we don't want it affecting sleep, okay? I like this number 10. Yeah, well, try to get dressed at least a bit. You want to set the environment and get your mindset right, okay? At least the top half, okay? And again, try to keep caffeine before 1 to 2 p.m. Right, bedtime routine. I'm just stopping share for a moment. Hoping you guys are still here. What's the biggest takeaway from that work stuff? Or the example as well, before we go back to pre-bed routine. Anything useful there? Write in the chat. If not, then maybe there's nothing useful, but hopefully there's something. I'll give you a minute or 30 seconds. I know some of you are watching this while you're moving, so don't worry if you can't write in the chat. It's all good. Okay, I'll take your word for it. That was useful. Okay. Right. Back on, okay? Here we go. Plan to work out in the AM, so if work goes crazy, you still get your movement in. Yes, Alicia, love that. And that's why I just think it's better for everyone to try and get their workout in AM, okay? Because, again, depending on your work, we're all different here, okay? But I like that. Working out in the AM. If I worked a 9-to-5 job, I would definitely work out in the AM. Okay, evening and bedtime routine. This is really important here. Actually begins the night before, okay? Now, this is something I have to admit I've done for the last 2 months, this step 1. I used to write a to-do list for the week. Now I do it every single day, okay? So I've actually already done it. Anytime from about 3-4 p.m. onwards, I write down my main task for the next day, and I'll write 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, and 3 have to get done, no option. 4, 5, 6, hopefully I'll get them done. If I don't, it's not the end of the world, okay? This is super important because this has to be done the night before. If you leave it to the next morning and you're suddenly like, oh my God, I've got all this stuff to do. What are my priorities? It's too late then. The night before you do it, so you wake up in the morning, see this, I just got a little Post-it note. It's really nothing special. And I know, for me, when I get back from the gym in the morning, I know, right, I've got to do this. 1, I've got to do this. 2, I've got to do this. 3, okay? I don't need to make a plan or anything like that. I know because it's right there, okay? So that's just a really important thing that will help with your next day routine, but this is part of the early evening and bedtime routine, okay? So do that just as you turn your laptop off. Then what I would do, prepare any food, gym clothes, work clothes. This is assuming you trained in the morning. Maybe if you were training here, training will come first. Then do all this, okay? We all know that once you finish work and if you just slump down on the sofa, the chances of then doing this get very slim. Okay. So try to do all this. It's tedious, I know. Do all this stuff straight away after finishing work before you sit down to relax. Okay. Then step 3, do relax. You need to have some relaxation time, guys. Okay. We all need it. So, you know, just veg out in front of TV, go for a walk, listen to a podcast, read, chat to friends, whatever you want to do, make sure you set some time for it. Okay. Otherwise, it's like Groundhog Day, isn't it? Just work, 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 waiting for the weekend. Okay. I know there's going to be sometimes when you're working late. I get that, but try to put some relaxation in. It doesn't have to be loads. It might be half an hour. Something's better than nothing. Okay. Now, some important ones here. Bedtime routine. Try to finish eating at least an hour before bed. Give it time to digest and keep your water intake a bit low. Okay. This middle bit here, this is especially good if you are a nighttime snacker, okay, especially after your last meal. If you brush your teeth straight away, you're not going to then want more food. You got minty fresh breath. You're not going to then want to reach for something, okay? So this could be, let's say, 8 o'clock. Finish eating, do your teeth, sit back down on the sofa, relax, okay? 30 minutes before bed, start getting ready. So you want to try and turn off all the electronics here, okay? We don't want that blue light, all right, in our eyes when we're trying to get to sleep. This stuff you should have seen on the sleep guide. If you haven't, I'll just go through it very quickly. Temperature. This is a good time to do reading or journaling. I've been doing this gratitude diary since December. I think I missed one day. I literally write 2 or 3 things that I'm grateful for that day. So tonight I'm going to write down this. I'm grateful for you guys coming on the seminar, okay? Because I am grateful. And it could be like my coffee tasted amazing today, or I had a really good workout, or my work meeting went amazing, or I changed my bed sheets and they feel really fresh. You know, that fresh bed sheet feeling. It's amazing. Okay. Just little things, because it's going to give you a really positive mindset. You could have had the shittiest day, but you write down a gratitude diary and you realize, you know what? Life's really not that bad. I've got a lot to be grateful for. Okay. It will take you 2-3 minutes. Okay. I have a little notepad by my bed with a pen. I do that. I turn off the lights out. Okay. Sleep tips. Again, these are in the sleep guide, but just make sure you're doing them. You know, there's no point in all this routine if your sleep's not good. Okay. Make sure your room is dark and quiet. Mask, earplugs if you need. I already spoke about number 3. You could also have an old school alarm clock. You know, like oh, it's in the other room. I should have brought it in. Those ones are ding at the top. Yeah. That's the worst description ever, but you know what I mean. And even keep your phone in the kitchen if you can. I like magnesium before bed. I've suggested that to a few of you. If you've got some question on that, you can ask me after. And remember, your bed should only be used for 2 things, okay? And by that, I mean, it shouldn't be used for TV, phones, stuff like that, okay? We all know how important sleep is. And every week when you guys check in with me, I can guarantee at least quarter of the answers are about sleep, okay? Bad sleep, you can't function properly. Any routine is going to go out the window, okay? So putting everything together, everything I spoke about doesn't have to be done military precision, okay? The main thing is that your routine allows you to get the important tasks done that you need to do in a day. Realistically, these 5 are going to be the important tasks. Again, if it's a weekend, there might be some social stuff in there. That's fine. And we'll come on to the weekend now. But the whole idea of your routine is to get done what's important, what needs to be done, okay? That is the point of the routine, and then doing it consistently. So a quick word on weekends. As I said, I would speak about that. So comment earlier, Susie, was I can't wake up on the same time on the weekends as I do the weekdays. Now, let's start with actually, that's the last bit. I don't expect, let's say, everyone to be in bed by 9 p.m. on a weekend and wake up at 6 a.m. I'm not saying that. But if you happen to go to bed later, try to at least wake up similar. So let's say you normally wake up at 6:30, maybe you wake up at 7:30, something like that, to keep a similar rhythm, okay? Because what happens is, let's say you go to bed a bit later than normal and you wake up like 10 a.m., especially if you've gone to bed super late, you then always have like a jet lag effect, okay? So you might think you're absolutely fine the next day because you've had 8 hours because you slept 2 a.m. till 10 a.m. But then let's say the start of the week on Monday morning or Sunday morning for us in Dubai, you still feel rubbish. And we've all had that. Let's say we've had a maybe not in COVID times, but before that, a late night on a Friday or Saturday, and you still don't feel great on the Monday morning, that's not going to start your week right, especially, okay? Again, not saying you can't do anything social. I'm not saying anything like that. What I'm saying is that you still want to try and wake up a similar time. And then if you're tired, nap later, okay? Catch up on it then, because your body wants to keep the same waking up rhythm. That's how it makes it easier, okay? So that's what I would say about sleeping on weekends. Big tip as well, that routine planner that we went through about doing your stretching, going for a walk or workout, eating breakfast, that should still try to be the same on your weekends. It might not have to be the same time. I'm not saying you have to wake up and train at 6 a.m., but especially if you've got social stuff, try to still get the important things done in the morning. At least you know then, right, I'm going out for lunch with the girls, whatever. I've done my workout. I've done some stretching. I've eaten a healthy breakfast. I've done a bit of journaling. Okay, then go and enjoy your day. All right. You still want to try and keep the mornings similar. There shouldn't be any reason why you can't. I don't think many of us have social plans on a weekend at 7, 8 a.m. Probably, maybe you do, but probably not. Okay. So that's the biggest tip I can give on the weekends. All right. So that routine planner, we'll put in the group, okay? And you can just download it. It's just an Excel spreadsheet. You know, I like to keep things simple, okay? Download it, fill it out, stick it on the fridge, okay? Somewhere that's visible, and try to implement that this week, okay? Right, I'm going to stop share. Thank you, guys. That was very astute timing. Right, anyone got any questions? You can unmute, or I would say put ask. If you've got a question, write ask in the, oh wait, there's some questions here, hold on. There's one question here, we'll start with this one. So when you say prepare all food, do you mean dinner or do you mean meals for the next day? Okay, good question. So that would depend on your circumstance. So, oh, let's remove this. If, let's say you were going to work, physically going to work, and you need to prepare your meals for the next day, I would say do that. But let's say you're working from home and you don't need to prepare your meals, then just prepare, let's say, the one which may take up the most time. Okay, so it's up to you. It's up to you guys. You can prepare all your food at once. You can prepare all your food every night. Okay, you can prepare just your lunch because that takes ages. Okay, so I spoke to all of you before about different food prep. You're all different. Okay, so I hope that kind of helps. I personally, again, depends what I'm making. I put on my stories yesterday. I'll make a few things in bulk. Okay. And again, it's different for me because I'm home in the middle of the day. So I'll do more then rather than leave it to the evening. Okay. But good question. Anyone else got any questions? If you do, just write ask on the chat and then you can unmute if you do have any questions. If not, maybe it was just so awesome that I covered everything. Hopefully, at least write yes if that was the case.
I do have a question.
Yeah, go on then. I should hit. Yeah.
How do you stick to the routine? I mean, it's nice to
How do you
hear
stick
it
to
and
it?
stuff in the morning, and I'm like, I'm not gonna click on snooze. And then I'm like, I come up with reasons, like, yeah, I have a meeting only at 8:30. Maybe I'll just sleep half an hour more. And that's where I start failing, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I think that's exactly why, maybe that's why I put at the beginning is that do you know what you want to get done in the morning and almost planned it out? Because you're right, if you've got nothing kind of planned out, like anything in life, you're not then gonna have the reason or you know, you haven't already said in your head, right, I'm gonna go and do this because I haven't got it planned out. So for example, you're right, if you only have workout in the morning, 45 minutes, and you wake up 2 hours before, you're right. You're probably not going to want to get out of bed straight away because it's only 45 minutes. So either wake up later if you want, or put some other stuff in there. Think about like later in your evening. Let's say after work, what do you have to do that maybe you could get done in the morning? What would maybe give you more relaxation time in the evening? Okay, have a think about that. That maybe could I do some dinner prep or something in the morning, so then after, it's going to be less of a pain later. Okay, something like that. Or even it could be, I know the weather's getting better obviously where you are, well, I don't know, maybe it's slowly getting better, I know, in Europe, but you know, add a walk in there. I know everyone here could always do better with their steps. Okay, so if there's time to add, is that how you laugh? I know. So we could always, maybe if you've got more time, that's why it could be a walk first, then get back, have a coffee, and then a workout. You see what I mean? So it could be some of that. So that's why I say take the spreadsheet and write a few things down, and then don't do everything at once because then you won't stick to it. But write a few things down, okay? And then fill up those mornings. Take away the stress of your day. Okay, think even that maybe there's some work tasks that you're like, I meant to get that done, and you've remembered at 2 p.m. Take 15 minutes just to look at your day and write down some goals for the day, even something like that. That's quite powerful. Right, today I've done my workout. I feel absolutely awesome already. This is almost like journaling, and I really want to smash this meeting today. I really want to watch this TV show tonight, and I'm going to have my laptop off by 7 p.m. Boom, done. Okay, try it. I said we're all different, so I hope that will help. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone in the chat? I've got a question. So, what would you guys like to have next as a seminar? You can write in the chat. So here I have a couple of ideas. One is I'm going to try and get a guest on to talk about sleep. Obviously, I don't want it to go too sciencey and like bore the hell out of everyone. That's the point. I want to make these things practical, okay? And I'm also thinking about speaking to a physical therapist I know about, especially like working at home and stretching and tightness and mobility stuff. So I think that may be useful, but that's just my ideas. If you guys have any ideas right now, write them in the chat. And because again, I'm doing these seminars for you, and think about it like something that you could implement and that's practical, like what I just gave you here. So you may have, I don't know, you may have a question about a nutrition question, which I can just answer anyway. I don't need to do a live seminar on it. You see what I mean? Because hopefully this was good. Then everything in it was something you could do. I don't want to go just into theory and bore people because, that's boring for me to survive. I'm not going to spend an hour speaking about calories. This is not interesting. And I've got enough calorie videos on Facebook group. Okay. So anything that you think you can implement. Here we go. Sleep and stretching, or maybe yoga. Yeah, okay, yoga's a good idea. Yeah. I will not be doing that, but I will find someone to do that. Stretching mobility tips, yeah, would be great. Okay, I'll switch my guy. Again, I know I've asked some of you in forms as well to put your ideas in, but if you ever have any ideas, don't wait for me to ask. Just chuck them in the group. Maybe I'll put one this week and put a poll up. But when I put a poll, you guys put your ideas, okay? Don't wait for me to put them all. Just click yes. Okay? So I want to hear your ideas, but I'll definitely get onto these. We'll do at least 2 of these a month, if not 3. Again, I know people are busy, so I don't want to make people come online. And other trainings, I'll just record myself and they'll just be put up, okay? But the main thing is that you guys catch up on them, okay? And again, speaking to people who aren't here, hopefully you're watching this. And if you ever can't make it, just make sure you catch up on it, okay? Cool. Any other questions? I'll end it there. In my 40 minutes, yeah? Before the time runs out. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming. I hope you learned a thing or two. I'll post all this up tomorrow, so feel free to watch it again. And thank you again for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, you're right, little thanks in the chat. Little clap face. All right, take it easy, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, okay? I'll speak to you later. Bye.